Tonight we are going to be talking about healing, especially and particularly talking about healing from heartbreak, healing from the pain of the past, healing period. Make sure that you like this video, that you comment, and that you subscribe. Let's get ready to talk about healing, because I know that a lot of you are in a predicament where you feel, let down. You feel maybe you just finished a breakup, maybe you just finished a divorce, maybe you just finished you just being rejected, maybe you have just been ghosted, and none of those feelings feel good, right? Like, none of those feelings feel good. It was one of the most hurtful experiences. So I know that if you're going through this right now, it can be very hurtful, you guys. However, I want to encourage you that God, in the midst of this pain, in the midst of what you're going through, in the midst of your hurt, in the midst of your sorrow, in the midst of feeling like, man, God, will anybody ever come? I want to encourage you, that God has a plan for you even in the midst of your pain. God has a plan for you even in the midst of your hurt, in the midst of you feeling like rejected. And just know this, you guys, man's rejection is God's protection. So you may be rejected right now and you may feel like, God, like, when will my husband come? Is he gonna ever come? And this is just like the worst experience ever. Like, I have had experiences where, like I said, you guys, I've been ghosted before. A man showed up and he was practically married, and I thought we were serious. We had been talking for several months. We finally met in person. It turned out that he was married. And just all sorts of instances where my heart has been tattered or torn, But even in the midst of that, you guys, what I could not see is that God was using these circumstances and these situations, and even, yes, the pain, to prepare me for the person that he has for me. And likewise, God, I don't see how you can use this for my good. I don't see how you can work this out for my good. But I'm telling you guys, Romans 8:28 is a verse that you can hold with you, and it's a verse that will stick, and it promises you that God has plans that are good for you, for your life. And it says that too in Jeremiah 29 verse 11. Romans 8:28 says that all things work together for good. So know that even in the midst of your pain, even in the midst of your breakup, that your pain, everything that you're going through is going to help you to appreciate the person that God does have for you. It's going to help you to be prepared for the person that God does have for you. I feel like some of us, we get so hurt to the point where we're just,
well, I don't want to try again. I don't want to deal with this again. I don't want to go through this again.
Know this. If you're willing to trust God, He is going to be willing to make sure that everything works out for your good. So you may have thought that person was the one, but here's what you could not see. Here's what you did not see is that maybe that person was crazy. Maybe that person was abusive. Maybe that person was possessive. You don't know why God had them reject you. But if you trust Him, and if you trust Him totally, I promise you that He will make it up to you. I promise you that He's going to make good on His word and on His promises. So I promise you, you guys, but the thing is that we have to trust God. We have to believe God. We have to know that God, even in the midst of our pain, He's working. In the midst of your heartbreak, He's working. In the midst of you feeling like, you're unattractive and that no good man will want you, that God is working, and that He's working behind the scenes, and He's working so that the person that He has for you, you will be prepared for them when it's time. So just know that, you guys, and just know too, because one man rejects you does not mean that you are unattractive or less than or not good enough. Even right now, I just come against that in the name of Jesus. Just because a man rejects you or breaks up with you does not mean that you're not worthy of love. And that's what many of us need. We need to remember and to believe that we are indeed worthy of love. You are worthy of love. You are worthy of God's best. You are worthy of a man who's going to love and honor you and give you the whole package, And some of us, we've let ourselves be run over. We've let ourselves be put down. We've let ourselves, just feel so down. And we listen to these voices in our heads that are saying,
you're not good enough. Nobody's gonna ever love you. God doesn't have anyone for you.
And those are lying voices, you guys. So I'm here today to encourage you to be open to God and his voice. And his voice is true, you guys. And what he's saying to you tonight is that Jeremiah 29 verse 11, for I know the plans I have for you, saith the Lord, plans of good and not of evil, to give you a hope and an expected end. So if you are alive, you guys, if you are listening to this, God has a plan to give you hope and an expected end. God has a plan to make sure that your heartbreak, doesn't just demolish you. God has a plan for your life. So know that God is going to cause it all to work together for good. But yeah, I could just think that back to when I was really going through my own personal heartbreak. It was so bad to the point where I would just literally eat my feelings. And that's the way that I dealt with it. So maybe like you're going through tonight and maybe you're dealing with it some other type of way, you guys, but I want to let you know that Jesus is enough. Like he's enough, and if you need prayer, you can DM me and I'll write back praying and I'll be praying for you. But God is enough. A lot of times we look for outside sources to make us feel better. But the fact of the matter is that the hole in your heart that you feel, it can only be filled with Jesus. If you guys are not in the Single Woman Suite, which is my group on Facebook, also make sure that you feel free to join. There's over 4,500 women in there and we have a lot of fun. Also, if you're interested more in dating, inbox me about my course, 31 Ways to Attract a Godly Mate. That's where I should go more in depth with dating, attracting a mate, being positioned, and being desirable to a mate. So make sure you inbox me about that. So yeah, guys, I hope that this was helpful to you. I hope that you guys have been blessed. It's been fun talking to you. Remember, subscribe to my YouTube channel at Dawana Was Pretty. Bye.